Which side do you want to?
Probably here.
Sorry, I can't move the camera. I can just see the corners from here.
Yeah, no, the field isn't the best for shooting. I live right down the road, so this is like my little shop. Yeah. I know it's annoying, but...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to New South Wales National Premier League event, Sutherland versus. Of course, you're at the home of the Sharks. This is the Den. Welcome to Seymour Shore Stadium. Of course, the kickoff is scheduled for 4 p.m. We'd like to acknowledge our sponsors. Thank you to Pine King, Peros Group, and Janky Sports. Snap Printing, Smile Orthodontic Design, Deploying, Ray White Commercial, Develop R, and of course, Abode Properties. Harper Jack Haulage, TFS, The Wreckers, Corbin Kitchens, Cater, Sports Speed Academy, and of course, Sunday Road, a Reborn Athletic, Nectar Fruits, Cross Bikes, Loan Market Capital, NSW Electrical, Mist Irrigation, Sharks Coatings, Joint Construction, last but not least, SKG Services. We're proud to have them as part of our Sharks family. Thank you for all your support to all our sponsors. Most of all, mums, dads, friends, and thank you for coming and joining us today. The Sharks versus Sydney United. And look at our kids, how good do they look? Oh, come on, give them a round of applause, please. Oh, come on. And of course, a real big shout out to one of our major partners, Dominion GWM. Of course, they have a wonderful business in Australia. Thank you, William Mark, for a new used vehicle, e-servicing, repairs, or just want expert advice. Hey, look at the Dominion GWM is your one-stop shop for all things. Located just to the right of Kinnerly, they offer competitive prices for all Southern Sharks members. Just mention the Sharks when you visit. Hey, come from the Sharks if you help me out. Support the local businesses, support your club. GWN, driving with the Sharks. All right, let's go. Dominelli, thank you. Drinking something to eat. So that's awesome. Seymour Shaw coming up, ladies and gentlemen, the Sutherland Sharks versus Sydney United. This is the National New South Wales Premier League Men's Round 16 clash. And if there's any Spurs fans in the house, we just want to say, yeah, baby!
Gentlemen, and welcome to this National Premier League One Men's New South Wales clash between Sutherland Sharks in the blue and Sydney United 58 in the iconic red and white. We're here at a new and improved Seymour Shaw Stadium. For those that do not know or have not seen, there is a bar open to all those that are here. A new playing pitch, as you can see. It's not green and a lighter green, it's just all green now. And a new and improved Sharks kit as well, ready to take the pitch. And on the pitch we can see Mini Roos kids from local Sutherland Shire clubs, Lilly Pilly and Gymea United. This is a big clash for both sides. Sutherland Sharks are coming off a 2-1 loss at home to Marconi Stallions and have not scored since their 1-1 draw against NWS Spirit on the 29th of March. And their last win was on the 23rd of March, a 1-0 win against Central Coast Mariners. Reverse fixture was on the 8th of February, round 1, a 2-2 draw. That was a cracker of a game, and we hope that this game will deliver the same spectacles that one did. They sit only 3 points off the bottom two, and the Sharks have lots of struggles with injuries as well. They lost Costa Petrados, one of their signings for the rest of the season early on. And Sydney United 58's big win over St George City puts them into the top 6. But they're after yesterday's result, they now sit 7th. In the middle, as the referees, we have Reese Edwards, Hayden Cale, Patrick Teleki, Teleki, and Charlotte Flynn. Sharks play same time next week at home against Manly United, and Sydney United play next Sunday against Sydney FC under-23s at 3 o'clock p.m. Big clash, you don't want to miss that one either. But all our attention comes right now to Seymour Shaw Stadium right now, where the Sharks face Sydney United 58 in what is going to be a big clash. Both sides need the wins. Sutherland Sharks need it to help them stay in the National Premier League. Sydney United 58 need that win to push them into the top 6, as there's only 3 points separating from 6 to 10. And it's going to be a spectacle for the senses. It is going to be a classic National Premier League men's grudge match. Grab your popcorn, grab your tea, grab anything that you like when you watch your football. And we're going to get very underway shortly, as soon as the referee and the public announcer, of course, geeing up the crowd, will get this game underway shortly. Sutherland Sharks will kick where the goalkeeper is on the sun, and the Sydney United will kick where Nizic is standing in the shade, who is actually a former Sydney United player, was in their squad that got them all the way to the Australia Cup final, losing 2-0 to MacArthur in 2022. And we are officially underway thanks to Patrick Antelmi's kick-off, and Sydney United start with the ball at their feet in what is going to be a brilliant game. Hoofed up, the target man is Mason Wells, but it looks like the ball trickled out of play, and we're going to restart now with Arimoto. A bit about Arimoto: he's half Cameroonian, half Japanese, and can speak French, Japanese, Spanish, and English. So not only a man of footballing prowess, but a linguist as well. Mr. Iko rocks the number 12, a new number for the man. Takes the long throw now, headed up, and it's put down to Mason Wells, who plays it back. Bit of a fancy pass back there. Don't think it was necessary, but they go all the way back to Tristan Prendergast, who's going to go out wide to Matthew Hatch. It's a nice block there from Mr. Mason Fernandez. Here is Lachlan McDonald now. Goes all the way back to Mohamed Ahmed, who makes himself back into the starting lineup. Here is Daniel Nizic now. It is intercepted, however, not the best pass there, as Carlos de Oliveira is the man to intercept that. And Tomelic has the ball now, and they're going to look to try and restart here. Sydney United 58 put themselves in the driver's seat for this game. Marconi Stallions did score early on last game against Sutherland Sharks, so they don't want a repeat of that. And Matthew Modic just lets the ball trickle out of play. Now, while Nizic does get the ball, a little bit more about him. He has played previously for Burnsley, Morecambe, MacArthur, and the Western Sydney Wanderers, and his favourite player is Thibaut Courtois. He's good friends with former Sydney FC, Wanderers, Wollongong Wolves goalkeeper, veteran Janjetovic, and is the captain for the Sutherland Sharks after signing this year. And he urges his team to go upfield, and that is exactly what they're going to do. Does it find the feet of the blue, or does it find the feet of the red? As Awari Tefe was the one that tried to get onto that, but it's Lachlan Fields with a great interception. Now here's Grozos. Intercepted once again for Sydney United. A bit sloppy at the start for both sides there, as Milicevic takes it out wide now. Sydney United playing from the back. And here is Vlastelica, hoofs the ball upfield. Nicely headed down there. Modic with a little touch on, but it's won back by Tomelic, who has the ball now. It was whipped in now. And Nizic with the safe hands and finds Mason Fernandez, who is another former Western Sydney Wanderers player. Grozo to Mohamed Ahmed. Nizic hoofs the ball upfield, trying to find Katsuta. Touchdown there by Awari Tefe. And Sydney United win the foul. And it is won by Carlos de Oliveira, who is Brazilian and Maltese and has been at the club since 2024. after playing for Blacktown City. So he swaps Blacktown for Denzer Park. Sydney United restart now. And that shot was not handsome or pretty there as it hits the sideline for a Sutherland Sharks goal kick. As the Sutherland Sharks look to get their season back on track. They had a brilliant start to the season. Since then, have been not in the best form. And Sutherland Sharks now are looking to make something out of nothing. Maybe form an attack here from Nizic, who once again urges his team upfield, which they must have been practicing in training. The whole pitch is on the other side, from the far side now. Once again trying to find Awiwi Tefe, who's also his first season at the club. Finds Grozo. Not the best pass there from Moric, but Skodadis picks up the pieces there. Mohamed Ahmed at the back. Going long to Moric. Touches it down brilliantly. Matthew Moric, former Melbourne Victory Academy player. Living there for a while in southeast Melbourne. And comes out now to Mohamed Ahmed. He's going to play Lachlan Fields again. Previously of O'Connor Knight, so has had stints in Football ACT and Football New South Wales. O'Connor Knight, Sydney United 58 equivalent in the Canberra District of Football. Cleared away from Sydney United 58. Falls straight to Antelmi, who touches it down brilliantly, actually. Now Sydney United can look to form a counter-attack. Leroy Jennings to Antelmi. Leroy Jennings, a former Sutherland Sharks player. And another foul given away by the Sutherland Sharks. It is going to be restarted by Tomilic, who goes all the way back now to the centre-backs. Michael Glasok, who goes out wide. Sydney United intercepted by Katsuta. Here's Arimoto. And now Sutherland Sharks win a foul. And Arimoto would say mercy to the referee there after winning that foul. And now here is Lachlan Fields ready to take this one. His favourite player is Son Heung-min, so he will be very happy about the result that happened over the weekend. Here is Nizic, hoofing the ball upfield, trying to find Mason Fernandez. Instead, it finds Sydney United, who send it wide, and that is Lachlan McDonald picking up the pieces and sliding it out for a throw-in. And now here is Hatch playing it nicely to his counterpart Milicevic. Now here is Tomilic out now to Glasik, who is spreading the play here. Arimoto winning the ball very nicely there, sending it back to Moric, who gives it back now. And here is Katsuta, Jedis Kotadis, his first season at the club as well. Mo Ahmed, Lachlan McDonald, Skotadis in the bright orange boots. We can see the boots from Miranda Westfield with how shiny those are. Now here is Lachlan Fields, Jedis Kotadis, sending it out, trying to find Ruben Awawi Tefe, but instead it finds Sydney United, in particular Michael Glasik. Sydney United once again on the counter-attack. Leroy Jennings. He was part of a Wollongong Wolves' Australia Cup team that got to the round of 16 before coming here to the Sydney United. And he also plays for the Fiji national team. So, very interesting fact for you there. As a very familiar face on the Australian football dugout, Ante Juric, who is the Sydney FC A-League's women's coach, applying his trade to Sydney United now. And he's also a PE teacher. And a foul is once again won. Sydney United, the disgruntled Sharks and players are not happy with that. And Sydney United are looking to once again form another counter-attack. This side on the other wing. There's Tomilic going all the way back now to Prendergast, who is playing Vlastelica, who's back in the squad. Arimoto with another contest, misses the ball. This time it falls to Mason Wells once again, having a good battle with Arimoto, who wins that. 6 out of toe, a very vital toe. Sydney United in the box, trying to find a shot, takes it, deflected, Lachlan McDonald clears the ball, averted danger for now. Sydney United win the ball once again thanks to a crunching tackle there from Anthony Tomilic. And now here is Carlos de Oliveira. And Sydney United once again looking to form an attack and make something. Here is Rule, who's trying to rule the back line there for Sydney United. Pun intended. Sydney United continue now. And there is Prendergast, the goalkeeper. Here is Glasic. Going all the way back now to Prendergast. And back now to Vlastelica. Glasic. Sending it long once again. The centre-backs love to play the ball long. And it is a goal kick. They thought the last touch was off Arimoto, but instead it is a goal kick. And Nizic has been busy, not with his hands, but with his feet, as he takes another goal kick to restart for the Sutherland Sharks. And we restart again. Here's Mo Ahmed, Lachlan McDonald, Jerry Scottadis with the fresh boots. Beautiful one-touch football there, intercepted there by Vlastelica, but Jerry Scottadis wins the ball again. Sends it out to Arimoto. Got the ball that he wanted and he receives it. He's saying gracias to his teammate. Sends it out now to Matthew Moric, whose dad is a football coach down in Melbourne. Mohamed Ahmed taking it out wide to Lachlan McDonald, who returns to the Sharks after a stint for MacArthur. Here is Mason Fernandez, who draws similarities to Milanovic. Mason Fernandez now. It is Leroy Jennings, but there is no advantage, it seems, and it is a free kick in a promising area. It might be Grozos to step up. We've seen Grozos score from this range this season. A banger against Rockdale at Illingdon, Peter Grozos. So he could step up to take it. It is his first season with the club. And yes, he receives the ball, Peter Grozos, formerly of St. George FC and Newcastle Jets, and is a former Young Socceroo and Western Sydney Wanderer. His favourite player is Eden Hazard, and his brother Costa is a professional footballer and captain for Newcastle Jets. So has a lot to live up to. Peter Grozzo wearing the number 7. It looks to whip this in. Can he deliver some sauce into the box? Is he going to go for it? Whips it in now. Doesn't get past Leroy Jennings. Avoiding the area that would definitely send him to the ground. Iko Arimoto wins that. Here's Jerry Scottadis in a battle. And it's Vlastelica with a brilliant tackle, but wins the corner. But Sharks win the corner. Jerry Scottadis rocking the number 21. And it is... He has started all but one game this season, Jerry Scottadis. So Mr. Reliable there for Zoric, the coach. Lots of Croatians on the field and in the dugouts, showing the true multiculturalism here of football here in this country, and how one of the founder clubs of football are going to be rewarded as they will play in the inaugural Australian Championship, 2nd Division. So Sydney United 58 preparing for that, but also trying to get the best result that they can. We see many football jerseys here in the stands. Football in the Shire is the largest grassroots program in the country. So good to see a big turnout here today. We have lots of Ronaldo jerseys, a Luis Diaz jersey, Liverpool jerseys, any jersey you can think of. It is probably definitely in the house. Maybe not a Frimpong jersey of Arsenal, but definitely a different mix and matches of jerseys here, which is what we like to see. As the Sutherland Sharks once again have a corner. Scott Davis, promising whip. Prendergast, his Arimoto, you don't want to... And that is a beautiful goal! Arimoto! You know what to do when he's in a corner. He will step up and take it. Iko Ehore Arimoto opens the scoring for the Sutherland Sharks. The goal drought is well and officially over. You give Arimoto some space. He's going to do what he did against Sydney Olympic, and he does it once again. Arimoto with the belter of a goal from left back to crackers. Arimoto only scores bangers. Put that on his bio. Arimoto with a beautiful finish. Unleashing some danger into the box. And the Sutherland Sharks have scored their first goal in their homecoming here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. And it belongs to Iko Ehore Arimoto. And he knows he loves the way I pronounce his name. Can he keep a clean sheet now? As Sutherland Sharks are building momentum, can they maintain this momentum? It is a goal kick for the boys in blue. It is going to be, I can guarantee you that will not be the only goal of the match. So if you think that's the only goal, strap yourselves in, because we're going on a roller coaster ride. No height limit for this ride either, and no age limit. Nizic, bit of an unorthodox goal kick style, but it goes up now nonetheless. Missed by every Sutherland Sharks head and falls to Vlastelica. Here is Grozos. That goal definitely lifted their spirits after 3 corners. They found the one that would stick into the box. It found Arimoto, who did a beautiful bicycle kick. He's going to watch that on replay all day. He's going to fall asleep to watching that. That's how nice of a goal that it was. And I know that he would, and I know 100% that is what he's going to do. Here is Mo Ahmed, Lachlan Fields now, playing it out to Jedis Kotadis in those I cannot get over those boots. They are such beautiful boots. I might have to ask where he got those from, because those are clean. And here is Katsuta, hailing from Japan, former Mount Druitt Town Rangers player, applying his trade now to Miranda. And if anyone ever wants any pre-game feeds, you don't even have to go anywhere, because the Sutherland Sharks have it all sorted. From Smithy's Bar, dedicated to the great Paul Smith, a legend of the club and a legend of the Sutherland Shire football scene. Helped build this club to the way it is today, so he deserves a shout-out. In fact, helped me with work experience at the club. Here is Matthew Moric. Played back now. Cleared away. Glasic. And it's going to go to Nizic, who's been so busy with his... I think that's the first time he's used his hands this whole match. And here is Mohammed Ahmed, returning once again for the Sharks. Lachlan McDonald. Ruben Awaritefe. Just a little poke by Vlastelica made all the difference. And Awaritefe leaves it for Lachlan McDonald, who is a big Green Bay Packers fan in the National Football League in America. Here is Grozos, who sends it all the way back to Lachlan Fields. Hoofs it up, trying to find Awaritefe. But it's a deflection. Now here's Fernandez. Not what he was intending to do. Sydney United now can counter-attack from this. His rule. Couldn't rule the clean sheet, but could rule more in defence, as Arimoto applauds the referee for making the right call. He is pumped up after that goal. Here is Arimoto. It's a brilliant throw in. Awaritefe giving it back to Arimoto, who's just holding the ball brilliantly there. Back to Mohammed Ahmed. Plays it in now to Mason Fernandez. Here is Jerry Skotadis. Lachlan McDonald. Jerry Skotadis. Peter Grozos. Skotadis. The Greek link up there. Karagunis to Charisteas. Here is Arimoto. Goes all the way back to Ahmed. Goes along once again to Moric. Knew that he wasn't going to get there, so just backed off a bit. Matthew Moric couldn't win the ball off that one. Now here is Antelmi. Intercepted there by Katsuta. Awaritefe. Here is Mason Fernandez. This is a promising counter-attack. Mason Fernandez whips it in. Cleared out, and you can hear the moans. The crowd is getting behind their club, what we love to see. And now we have a corner. Last time there was a corner, it fell into the back of the net. So potentially, could we see another goal? Well, we're about to find out. We apologise. The corner viewing isn't the best from this corner. However, the other corner we saw well and truly how beautiful that Arimoto goal was. Now here is Peter Grozos now to take the corner. with that left foot of his. As all of us here in the box tilt our heads. Grozo whips it in, headed out, only as far as Lachlan McDonald. Sends it out wide, bit slippery there for Lachlan Fields. And Rule is just going to let the ball go out of play, and he's going to take the throw in. Throws it back now to Glassok, which we could actually talk about right now. First season at Sydney United 58, having previously played for Sydney Olympics. So swapping the blue and white for the red and white. Here is Matthew Hatch, who is a former Central Coast Mariner and Perth Glory man. In fact, he's born in Gosford. And he has the record for the fastest A-League debut goal at 25 seconds. So we have record makers, international football players playing for their countries. We have it all at this game. And so far we have an upset as the Sutherland Sharks are leading thanks to a beautiful bicycle kick from Iko Ehode Arimoto, who says arigato to Jerry Skodadis for the beautiful cross and the bicycle kick. Don't forget about that. Here is Sydney United 58 now. Here is Prendergast, the goalkeeper in between the sticks, with his first season at Sydney United. Hoofed up now. Nizic just going to palm the ball. Let the team reset, get back into formation. Here is Mohamed Ahmed, and we strike 20 minutes into the game. A new and improved scoreboard as well here for the Sutherland Sharks. Here is Grozos. New sponsors as well. We have on the kit and in deploy. And a new and improved logo too. And the Sharks have a throw-in. It looks like going to be Lachlan McDonald to take it, who signed midway through last season. He scored in round 2 in their 3-0 win to Manly United at Cromer Park. Lachlan McDonald had been sidelined for a few games with a nose injury. Rocked a beautiful mask for that, but he's back in fully fitness. Here is Antelmi, who actually has a single appearance for Western United, the A-League club. So lots of A-League experience in the Sydney United squad as they send it out now to Mason Wells, who they play it back to Rule. Not the best pass there. Katsuta intercepts that from the pass from Carlos de Oliveira. Matthew Modric in a foot race with, as the man mentioned. Now here's Ruben Awewi Tefe. Not the best touch there. Cleared out now from Glassick to Leroy Jennings. Leroy Jennings now playing a little bit of a 1-2 there with Matthew Hatch. Hatches the ball upfield. Leroy Jennings touches it. It's a nice touch there. Mohamed Ahmed trying to get something onto it. Poor defending there, and it's a strike! And Nizic has been tested for the first time in this match. Aiden Milicevic forcing Nizic into the save. A Canberra boy he is, the man that took that shot, at only 22 years old. And we have Sydney United's first corner. And the man that took the shot is going to whip the ball in. Can he whip some whipped cream, maybe some tomato sauce, mustard into the box? Maybe find a head of a player. Could even see another bicycle kick, you never know. That's the magic of the football here. And it's going to be whipped in. The referee in red and green is going to make sure nothing is happening in the box. And he's been given the all clean. It's whipped in. And it falls to Arimoto, cleaning up in defense and attack. Making up for his poor touch there, Arimoto. Trying to use him for pace. And he's still going, Arimoto. He is pumped up. Jerry Scott Davis is through, but unfortunately Arimoto did not put enough power on that. But he's worked his way back. Here is Antelmi, still with the ball at his feet. No advantage there. And Antelmi and Skodalis helping each other up. What we like to see, a bit of camaraderie. At the end of the day, you leave it all on the pitch, is what they all say. And we've restarted now. Here is Hatch. Here is Tomilic. Sends it out wide to Rule. And here is Antelmi now. Brilliant hold-up play he's got, Patrick Antelmi, but the pass, couldn't find the pass. Lachlan McDonald intercepts that, but it goes out now to Hatch. Here is Milicevic. Here is Leroy Jennings. played for the Sharks a long time ago, but he knows what it's like to play on this pitch. Did play when Paul Smith, the man that's the great Smith bar is named after, was president. Sydney United now trying to find their way, but Sutherland Sharks shutting them down. Their defence is tight. They do not want to concede. They have the lead and they want to maintain it. Here is Tomilic back out now. Sent out wide to Milicevic. Maitland Fernandez and Lockie McDonald got a touch, but Leroy Jennings with some brilliant skill there takes the shot, and Leroy Jennings has scored against his former club, takes the near post and finds the back of the net. The man that plays for the Fiji national team and Sydney United have got one back. It was a brilliant bit of skill there from Leroy Jennings, gave a bit of room, took the shot, and it is 1-1 here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. And that is why Sydney United are so composed and pushing for a playoff spot. Because when they're down, they don't keep their heads down and they keep their spirits up. And it is a goal for Leroy Jennings. That is his 4th goal this season, as he has another to his tally. And Leroy Jennings makes it 1-1 here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. All to play for now. It's going to be a big 20 minutes before the second half. To not go anywhere, you might miss something. So grab, if you have someone there living with you, ask them politely to get them some food for you and to get the game rolling, because this game is far from over. Personally, I recommend maybe a nice cup of popcorn or a bowl of popcorn. Put it in the microwave. Make sure you're listening to it. We don't want any house fires going on. Now here is Nizic hoofing the ball upfield. Hatch, Muhammad Ahmed and Leroy Jennings at the battle. Muhammad Ahmed wins that one. Big foul there. Lachlan McDonald wins the foul after being pulled down by Carlos de Oliveira, who doesn't look like he's wearing socks, but can tell you that he is wearing socks. Here is Lachlan Fields and Muhammad Ahmed, the centre-back counterparts. Unfortunately, their clean sheet has been snapped. Lachlan McDonald wearing the number 2. Mason Fernandez tried the cheeky Meg, but got a cheeky throw in instead. And it is going to be a throw now. And the under-20s, the game just before this one was a 3-1 loss to Sutherland. So first grade trying to find something from that and hopefully lift everyone's spirits in that game. In this game. Definitely it has not been short of entertaining, I can let you know that right now. Now here is Matthew Hatch, just waiting. Looks like there seems to be a problem here with Lachlan McDonald. There is a bit of blood, so they're going to be temporarily down to 10. And it looks like Muhammad Ahmed is just going to sit into that spot until he can get back onto the field. Good outcome for the Sharks. They want this throw in so that they can get Lachlan McDonald back on the field and strapped up. Not wasting any time here, the Sharks. They want their 11th man. And Lachlan McDonald is waiting to be allowed back onto the pitch. But it looks like they're going to take the throw without his presence. Muhammad Ahmed. Mason Fernandez. Jerry Scottadis. That's a nice hold-up play. Mason Fernandez and Leroy Jennings with the battle. Carlos de Oliveira trying to pull a sneaky on the referee, but he was none of it. And it is a throw-in for the Sutherland Sharks. Lachlan McDonald back on the field. Good to see he's okay and all strapped up. Header one there by Vlastelica. Sent out wide there from Milicevic. Sent out back to Tomilic, whose wife plays for the Marconi Stallions. Got married in February 2022. And here's Leroy Jennings now, the man that scored the goal for Sydney United to bring a game to a draw. The last meeting was a draw between the two sides, a 2-2 draw. back in round 1 at Adenza Park. Katsuta with the clearance. Leroy Jennings, not the best touch there. Mason Fernandez does well there. More contests, but it's going to be a throw-in taken by Matthew Hatch. He'll try and hatch the ball into the back of the net through his throw. Has started every game this season as well. And he did play for Marconi Stallions as well before hitting the ground at Adenza Park. Cleared up by Lachlan McDonald. Awiri Tefe slipping on the pitch. Comes all the way back to Glasic. Trying to find something, just goes short there to Vlastelica. There is Glasic. To Vlastelica. Carlos de Oliveira. Rocking the number 10. The half Maltese and half Brazilian man. Hatch, Leroy Jennings. This is a good sequence for Sydney United. Played in now. Leroy Jennings. Carlos de Oliveira. Carlos de Oliveira. Katsuta. Here's Grozos. Skotadis. Tried to find Awiri Tefe, but instead finds the feet of Glasic, who intercepts. Sees Leroy Jennings, who is young, wild, and free. But Lachlan McDonald got the interception. But de Oliveira now has the interception. Plays it out wide to Rule, who's just trying to rule the fullback position. Now here's Peter Grozo, who may form a counter-attack here, but is intercepted once again after Katsuta tried to save it. De Oliveira sends it out wide to Leroy Jennings. Using that, Tekers again. Sends it out to Tomelic. Here's De Oliveira. Sent through now. De Oliveira deflected. Rule hits the foot of Arimoto, and it's Antelmi, but he has fallen offside. That would have been devastating for the Sutherland Sharks. Patrick Antelmi just a tickle offside, and Sutherland Sharks can breathe a sigh of relief. No VAR in this level, so they can walk away knowing that that goal will be disallowed. And now Nizic, the former Sydney United man, who's taking his talents from the west to the south, is going to restart. Loves a fish. Hoofs it upfield. And it's Grozo. Bit ambitious there from the man. And now it is going to go back to Tristan Prendergast, the Sydney United 58 goalkeeper, who supports Everton and has also played A-League for Western Sydney Wanderers and Sydney FC, and won the National Youth League with Sydney FC in 2016. He's also from Cairns. Has started every game this season. Cairns, a beautiful city, probably my favourite city in Australia. And he won the National Youth League alongside the likes of Aaron Calver. Here is Lachlan McDonald, Ruben Awiri Tefe, Mason Fernandez, poked out from Hatch. Leroy Jennings, beautiful composure to just get the ball out to Adrian Vlastelica. He's going to hoof it upfield. Sydney United love their long balls. Lachlan McDonald says, nope. And here is Hatch. Throws it back now to Vlastelica. Has plenty of room. Here's Glasic. Every player is in the Sharks half apart from Awiri Tefe now. And now they all are back in the half. Just letting them play around the back. There is Vlastelica, who's going long once again. It looks like it's going to go to Rule. Matthew Moric. Rule couldn't rule that first touch of his. And Sydney United now. Here is Antelmi, who was denied a goal. Little poke. And it's cleared away by Mason Fernandez. That could have been devastating. A double blow from the Sharks, if you like. But it's Mason Fernandez who picks up the pieces for his side. And he has started every game this season, so another Mr. Reliable here for the Sutherland Sharks down at Seymour Shaw Stadium in the heart of the Sutherland Shire in Miranda. New look Sharks, new look field. Here's Aweri Tefe. Arimoto clearing the ball. And if you guys are just tuning in, you can try and go back and find Arimoto's bicycle kick. That was a brilliant goal to open the deadlock, and Leroy Jennings had the skills to pay the bills and pay the back of the net because he broke the deadlock for Sydney United, and we have a tied game here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. Whipped in now. Calls for handball, waved away by the referee. The little supporter group in the corner calling for it. Awiri Tefe scanning to find an option. Here is Hatch instead. Now here is Tomelic for Sydney United 58, and it finds the hands of Nizic. His wife Hannah once again plays for Marconi Girls, studying primary education. Nizic, Tomelic. He played in the Oz Cup final as well last year, and a Sydney FC junior and a club legend at Sydney United 58. Intercepted there by Mason Wells. Now here is Golosic trying to find an option here. Golosic goes back to Prendergast. Moric almost got the pivotal touch onto it. Hatch, De Oliveira trying to find Leroy Jennings. It's a foot race between him and Mo Ahmed. Nizic, safe hands there. Here is Lachlan Fields as we strike for the 35th minute of the game. Lachlan Fields back now to Mo Ahmed. Here is Jerry Scotadis, whose shoes are shining bright like a diamond. Here is Lachlan McDonald. Mason Fernandez. Back to Jerry Scotadis. His first season at the club, rocking 21. Another famous Greek, where's that number? Konstantinos Tsimikas at Liverpool. Mo Ahmed. Trying to find Lachlan McDonald. Trying to get a foul. Him and Leroy Jennings, they're going at it this whole game. Vlashilikov trying to find Antelmi. It's a beautiful poke. Antelmi's Instagram bio does say SOS, which means that is right. And that is right that it is 1-1, and it is a crack-over match so far. Here's Carlos de Oliveira. Goes all the way back now to Glasic. And here is Vlastelika. Leroy Jennings. Lachlan McDonald. Pivotal touch there. Carlos de Oliveira. Throws it out now to Vlastelika. Hatch. Leroy Jennings. Mo Ahmed. De Oliveira with the touchdown. Mo Ahmed tried to find Grozos. But it's found Sydney Olympic instead. It's found Tomelic. Arimoto trying to get a foot onto that. Instead it goes to Lockie Fields. He gives away a corner. And the Sutherland Sharks have time now to defend, get everyone behind the goal for this. Sydney United are going to whip it in now. Maybe put some sauce into the box. Left-footed corner for a left-footer. That's what we like to see. 2 hands up. Into the box now. Doesn't get past the first man. Lachlan McDonald scoops that one away. Rule trying to get the ball back in. And does. It looks like it's gone back now to Milicevic, who whips it in. Lachlan Fields gets the head to that. Won by Vlastelika. Leroy Jennings back to Vlastelika. Here is Carlos de Oliveira. And it is another corner. And it's going to be whipped in now by Milicevic. And as we see on the camera, look at the support that the Smithies bar is getting. The game is actually being shown up on the TV. So maybe they can hear my voice in there. I hope not. But it's going to be whipped in now by Milicevic. just waiting now for the all clear. Seymour Shore Stadium. As everyone anticipates this corner that is whipped in now. Much better than the first corner. Skotadis, deflection trying to clear it. Milicevic, the man that took the corner, back trying to whip something in. Whips it in now. Finds the head of Glasic. Carlos Oliveira doesn't get his foot connected to the ball. Leroy Jennings now goes back to Tomilic. And it is Lachlan Fields to avert the danger. As the spectators become the ball boys. Thrown in now. Here is Mason Wells. But Lachlan Fields having a field day with that tackle. Here is Matthew Moric. Eminem. Mason Fernandez. Headed down. But not good enough there. And it is won again by Rule, who ruled that ball. Here's Hatch. Send it out right to Leroy Jennings. Vala as well is what he's known as. Goes back now to Hatch. Who finds Tomilic. Back now to Glasic. Rule. As they seem to be getting the field ready for the juniors that will be on the field at halftime as we stroke 5 minutes until halftime and stoppage time. Here is Antelmi, whose goal was disallowed after being offside. Carlos Oliveira. Fields, Matthew Moric. Here's Grozos. And wins a foul, Peter Grozos. His first season at the club. Rocking more flashy boots there. Seems the Greeks coming in style with their flashy boots. Now here is Lachlan Fields now. Former O'Connor Knights player bringing his trade from the Capital Territory to the Sydney Shores. Here is Arimoto, goal scorer for the Sutherland Sharks. Matthew Moric holds that up good, well. Kasuta goes back to Muhammad Ahmed. Kasuta now the only Japanese man in the squad as Takehide Umebachi had to retire due to back problems. Or he was known around the club as Bachi. And we can see in the stands is Dimitri Petraros, former Newcastle Wanderers, Sydney FC man, playing his trade now in India. He's here for the off-season to support his brothers. Here is Jerry Skotadis. Comes out to Arimoto. Decides to go all the way back. Play it safe than sorry. Here is Mo Ahmed. Played in now to Grozos. Mason Fernandez. Jerry Skotadis. Awari Tefe tries to find Lockie Fields, but it's Hatch who does brilliant defending there. And Lachlan McDonald's just going to leave the ball so that Sydney United can restart with Prendergast. And we can see in the stands some of the Sharks players supporting their team. Nick Sullivan, who's out injured. John T. Bush, who's had a bad back injury, who looks to most likely not return to playing. Wish them both speedy recoveries. But, hey, if you want some brilliant football training, you can go to his Exceed football training camps. And it is a throw-in now. Originally of the Dubbo Dingoes, now brought his trade to Sydney. Works at good old flat centre. Here is Mason Fernandez. Jerry Skotadis. Great control there. As Milicevic was trying to find something. Instead, it's gone back all the way to Lachlan Fields. Passed into Grozos. Lachlan Fields. Here's Peter Grozos. Lachlan Fields. Passed in now to Mo Ahmed. Played into Mason Fernandez. Here's Fernandez again. Scotadis. Fernandez. Lachlan Fields. Known as Monster Field from the O'Connor Knights. Matthew Moric. Katsuta. Muhammad Ahmed. Plays all the way wide to McDonald. Sharks here enjoying a beautiful spell of possession and momentum. Fernandez. And it is a foul gone to the way of the Sutherland Sharks. Leroy Jennings is in disbelief there that he has to give away a foul like that. Shout out to the public announcer, James White, always delivering beautiful public announcing. Does it my charity matches, which are actually here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. We've had the likes of Timmermatic, and we have 1 minute of stoppage time. So if you're ever in Sydney in January, come down, support a good cause here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. Mason Fernandez with the shot. Poked it once again. You can follow the page at Charity Match Official on the gram. Now here is Prendergast to Hatch. We do have some promising and potential developments coming, so stay tuned. And Mason Fernandez gets helped up as we are kicking away the first half. And what has been a brilliant first half, if you're just tuning in, Iko Ehode Arimoto scored a beautiful bicycle kick and from a corner, and Leroy Jennings used the techers to get past Fernandez and Lachlan Fields to slot it near post, past Nizic, to open the scoring for Sydney United and make it 1-1. And that is it. It is half time here. It is Sutherland Sharks 1, Sydney United 1 here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Do not go anywhere. It is going to be an even better second half than it was first. I can guarantee you that. As the Sharks players bring it in. Nice little huddle, team bonding, which is nice to see. As all of the Sydney United players hit the dugout, the Sharks players remain on the pitch, which I think is important there. We can see as well Richard Shuiki warming up. And we are going to be underway shortly in another 15 minutes. So do not go anywhere. Do not leave the couch. If you need to get snacks, now is your time to get the snacks, because you don't want to miss the last 45 minutes. We will see you in 15 minutes. Do not go anywhere. This is Christos Mavmastakis presenting the first half. We'll be presenting the second half in 15 minutes. Do not go anywhere, and goodbye for now. We'll see you in 15 minutes.
Gets the exciting games.
You wait till you see Iko's goal.
I know, that wasn't wrong.
I'm telling you, you're going to share the goal, you're going to share it with me. Otherwise, no.
I'd love to hear your comments to watch your commentary.
Yeah, well, you can watch it back.
Who do you reckon? What do you reckon so far? Who do you reckon mostly in it? Do you reckon it's pretty even?
Yeah.
County Devlin's here.
Where?
In the bar. Like, nobody's here.
I know that.
Not good for me.
Nothing's been happy.
Should I shout out the page, right? The sub okay?
Oh, yes.
do it in the second half.
I want to thank you, Mother Parents, and Lily and Bobby, and a bunch of kids down here so you can watch their skill levels and enjoy the entertainment. Thank you so much for being on your hands. Your sacrifices is wild words remembered, so thank you. And they're off. Wow. The game to the right of the stadium is the one in running. And they're off to the second game at the top of the pitch.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I couldn't see that corner post and I didn't realise till after we started, so I need to move.
Yeah, what's hard on this
Yeah, if I move back, then I can't see then, but the security camera there, you can't see that far corner. I can see everything except the corner post.
That's okay. Look, the goal went in, and you're going to get a good kick from it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right, yeah, true. I just can't see. Yeah, I can't see the post. But,
And this is the first goal, that first game over there. Come on, people, give it a round of applause. Encourage them as well. Let's go. Yeah, come on.
I don't know what else I can do. Yeah, no worries. All good. Yeah, see, it's the whole field except that corner post. Those security cameras are like hanging from the roof. When I was setting it up, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I can see the whole field and I can see them, and they're the hard ones. And then they have three corners over there. See, but if I move, then I can't see those. Yeah. So.
Hello, all. Welcome back here to the second half of action here in Seymour Shaw Stadium for the National Premier League 1 men's round 16 clash between the Sutherland Sharks and Sydney United. If you're just tuning in, it is 1-1. You missed some quality goals from the man that is the closest to the camera right here, Aramoto, with a beautiful bicycle kick, and Leroy Jennings, who's now on the far side, with some nice techers to go past Nizic and make it 1-1. We still have another 45 minutes to play, however, and it is going to be nothing short of magical. As the stats appear on the screen, you can clearly see it is 1-1, and we are back, and we've got full screen action ready for you to go on a measly 19-degree night here at Miranda. Sun has been out all day. And we are back. Here is Bailey Rule now, ready to start, take the throw in for Sydney United. Thrown in now. And Arimoto going back to Fields. Here's Jerisko Tadis. Arimoto. Grozos not the best touch there, and it's Rule. Moric with the all crucial poke, but it falls back now to Glasic. Not the best pass there, and it's Awiritefe, but it's won again by Hatch. It's going out wide now. There is Leroy Jennings, the goal scorer. Carlos de Oliveira trying to find something, but decides to go all the way back now to Vlastelica. Glasic. Milicevic out to Rule. Moric hoofs the ball away. Matthew Moric, former Melbourne Victory Junior. And now here is Prendergast. First season at Sydney United, stints with Western Sydney, Sydney FC in the A-League. He's got experience. So too does the other goalkeeper, Sutherland Sharks, Nizic, who has played for Sydney United, Morecambe, Burnley. So, but Sydney United here on the attack, whipped in now, and Altelmi could not get a foot to it after the ball was whipped in by Leroy Jennings, as the sun is starting to set here in the south of Sydney at Seymour Shaw Stadium. New bar, Smithy's bar, dedicated to the great Paul Smith. A new pitch, playing area, beautiful vibes here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. Mo Ahmed giving out to Lachlan McDonald. Here is Mason Fernandez. Katsuta. Mohamed Ahmed just had to deal with it, as there was a press happening there by De Oliveira, and a foul is won, and it looks like it is won by Peter Grozos. And it's going to be taken now by Mo Ahmed, who goes all the way back now to Nizic. Lockie Fields now. Former O'Connor Knight applying his trade now here. Swapping the red and white for the blue and white. Mo Ahmed. Out now to Lockie McDonald. Here is Katsuta. Carlos de Oliveira with the poke to give it another corner. Could we see Arimoto? He's up there. Could we see him get another beauty from this corner? We're about to find out, just so you all know that. It is going to be whipped in by Peter Grozos. We can see this corner. Hopefully he's going to whip in some sauce into the box. Whipped in now. It's headed up. And Lachlan Fields, the man that they call the Monster Fields, could not get a head to it. The former O'Connor Knight, where Lukman Ahmed Shebu, the former Sutherland Sharks player, is now playing. Mammoth Fields, his nickname is. Disregard the monster. They call him Mammoth Fields. Mo Ahmed there, giving away a foul. Patrick Antelmi, the one that wins it for Sydney United. Spent his youth career in England for Portsmouth, Leeds United, Wolves and Wigan, and has been with Sydney United for a second stint since 2020 and has 6 goals this season. So Patrick Antelmi, European pedigree. His rule, Calcio Vieira, whipped in now. Or depth touch. Mohamed Ahmed doing well to finally clear away the danger. Thrown in now by Bailey Rule, who's got a single goal this season. Bailey Rule continues to rule the fullback position, but it's Jedis Cordavis now with the flashy boots, playing some flashy football. Mason Fernandez doing well to try and win something there, but Tomilic says, get out of here with that. One in now by Milicevic. Here's Katsuta. Here's Arimoto. Played back. Nizic hoofing it up. Awari Tefe with the unlucky touch, but it's Lachlan Fields that saves that. Now here's Katsuta. Matthew Moric. Croatian himself, playing against Croatian clubs in Sydney United 58, a club of much history who will be competing in the Australian Championship, second division, in its inaugural season this season, and a former NSL club, National Soccer League club, before the A-League was around. Cleared away now, Mason Fernandez with the cut, but wasn't enough to get something on it. Here's Lachlan Fields now. Mohamed Ahmed going for the long ball once again. Headed out by Glasic. It was going to fall to Grozos, but it was a pivotal touch there by Vestelika. Now here is Fernandez. Grozos. Given in by Katsuta. Mason Fernandez takes the strike. It is a pivotal header, but as it is a head injury, we have to stop there. Vestelika literally putting his body on the line for that one. That must have hurt, as it hits him right in the head. And it looks, and as we have a short stoppage in play, in case you have missed it, it is 1-1, as you can see on the big scoreboard. Iko Ekore Arimoto with the score. Thank you, cameraman, helping me. And Leroy Jennings with the goal for Sydney United as well. And it looks like he's back up on his feet, Adrian Vestelika. So good to see that. He's back on his feet. We don't like to see players going down injured, especially when they're semi-professional footballers and they have to go back to work on Monday. So it's good to see he's back on his feet, Adrian Vestelika, as he returns. Didn't play in the last match against St. George, which was a great win for them. In fact, speaking of next matches, Sutherland Sharks are back here on the home stretch as they take on Manly United next week at 4 p.m, whilst Sydney United 58 play next Sunday against Sydney FC under-23s back at Adenza Park. We can see Ante Juric watching his side with his big puffer jacket. Mohamed Ahmed. There is Grozos. Going back now, he's Iko Ehore Arimoto, the man with the goal, who is studying media and politics at the University of New South Wales. And he's also got a media company that he's starting to work on, Stairway to Upper, so if you go and follow that, I'm sure he would appreciate the shout out. He was number 43, now he's got number 12. He was signed under Nick Domovsky, and he has his second goal of the season this season. His first goal did come against Sydney Olympic in their 5-1 loss. He was pivotal in that game. He scored that goal in round 4 on Saturday the 1st of March. Similar from a corner as well. Awiri Tefe, his touch once again, his demise. Just a crunching tackle there from Arimoto, the half Cameroonian, half Japanese man, who, as mentioned in the first half, speaks French, Spanish, English, and Japanese. Had a stint in Spain, did school there as well for a bit. So, a well-travelled man, good with his feet as well, which is another bonus. And Nizic just clears the ball away, the former Sydney United man. Some bit of the crowd here pointing out the camera. And we are 10 minutes into the second half. The temperature may drop, but the quality of football will not. As we continue here with Carlos de Oliveira, who goes out now to Mr. Mason Wells, who's going to take the strike. And that was not handsome or pretty there, as Mason Wells, who's a former Northbridge and MacArthur player, signed halfway through 2024. 5 goals this season, could have made it 6, but hit the wrong net. So this is Daniel Nizic now to restart the game for us. I don't think I've seen as many Ronaldo jerseys per square capita than I have at this field tonight. Funny enough, it's all either Portugal or... It's all Portugal. Not... Here is Jadis Cortades. Tried to do something flashy there, but it's Mason Wells who read that play very well. Milicevic to Tomilic. And now here is Vlastelica. Hatch to Oliveira. De Oliveira. Also, shout out to the teams at halftime. Gaimea United, Lillipilly. 2 big clubs here in the Sutherland Shire Football Association. The biggest grassroots association in Australia. Lillipilly with the most registered players in the Southern Hemisphere. And it looks like the Sydney United boss, Ante Juric, is going to prepare a substitution. And Antelmi took that shot. It took a deflection in. And we're going to prepare a substitution. And it's going to be Mario Chabot coming on. This is his first season with Sydney United, 58, signing from Blacktown City. He will definitely come on after this corner is taken. Which it looks like it's going to be whipped in now with pace. And it will be Mason Wells coming off. Headed away from Lachlan McDonald. And it is a throw. But before we take that throw, the substitution that I was just mentioning is about to happen, and it's going to be Mario Chabot coming on and Mason Wells coming off. Thank you, fourth official there, for showing us. And it's going to be whipped in now. A Lamine Yamal jersey spotted in the crowd. That's definitely nice to see. Here's Lachlan Fields to Katsuta now as the lights of the stadium come on. Lachlan, which is actually helping. The floodlights are much new and improved now here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. Used to be very hard to see the game, but now we can. Here is Jadis Cortades. Goes all the way back now to Lachlan McDonald. There is Jadis Cortades, and it looks like Mo Ahmed has dropped up into the CDM role, and Katsuta is the man at the back now. Maybe try to get a bit of change of direction here. Here is Lachlan Fields, who goes all the way back now. And it looks like Katsuta and Mo Ahmed have now swapped once again. Lachlan McDonald, Mason Fernandez, rocking the number 23. Katsuta. Now the only Japanese player at the club. And the Sutherland Sharks are known for having Japanese players. From Japan. Arimoto is half Japanese, half Cameroonian. Now, there is the man that just came on, Mario Chabot. Here is Leroy Jennings now, trying to get a second. Takes the strike. And it just trickles over the crossbar. And it looks like we will have a substitution for the Sutherland Sharks. It is going to be the man who is back from suspension. Gerasimakis Petratos will be back onto the field. I'll tell you more about him as soon as he steps foot onto the pitch, because he does have a special guest in attendance, and it is Nizic to start us off. As a flash goes off behind him. Sure, he's unfazed by that. We've got half an hour plus stoppage time left to play. Mason Fernandez, Jeris Kotadis. Mason Fernandez now. And that is not a smart tackle there from Carlos de Oliveira. And we have the substitution now, Gerasimakis Petratos. Looks like he's coming on. We will find out. For Ruben Awawitefe. Gerasimakis Petratos, brother of Costa Petratos, who's out all season, ACL. And Gerasimakis Petratos. And his brother Dimitri Petratos, the footballer, is watching from the stands. So here he comes, Gerasimakis Petratos. And we still have a stalemate here at Sutherland Shore Stadium. Of course, the reverse fixture in round 1 was a 2-2 draw. Here is Ikoehore Arimoto. There is Lachlan Fields. Out now to Muhammad Ahmed. So both sides have made substitutions now. Nizic now hoofs the ball upfield. Headed down comfortably there by Shabo, the substitution. Here is Milicevic. Gets past Arimoto, but we know that he's going to try and work hard to get that back. Shabo is the one that slips. And that has gone all the way off to the Seymour Shaw Park field. Carlos de Oliveira belting that one, trying to feed a through ball to the kids that are in the stands. As Carlos de Oliveira would not want to look that back into replay. As we are ticking down the time here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. Nizic putting the ball down. Hasn't had to be too busy today. Made a save in the first half. Milicevic taking the shot. Goes short this time. Mohamed Ahmed. Definitely not what everyone was expecting there. Hoofs the ball up, and here is Hatch now. Former Perth Glory Central Coast Mariner, Matthew Hatch. Born in Gosford and has the record for the fastest A-League's debut goal in 25 seconds. And it's shot now, and it trickles out. That looks like it was Gerasimakis Petratos who could have brought his side back in with him just coming on minutes before. And his Egyptian fiancée, walked past the commentary box. We're going to hopefully see some more goals. Here is Prendergast. I was right about Iko's goal not being the only goal of the game, but hopefully there is more goals, because more goals, more entertainment for you guys. And I want you guys to be entertained at home, wherever you guys are watching from, whether you're watching from Sydney, Melbourne, Tanzania, or even locally here in Miranda. And the ball continues now. Here it is. Here's Jeris Kotadis. Out now to Lachlan McDonald, who's got pace to burn, but it is intercepted brilliantly there by Tomilic. There is Leroy Jennings, the goal scorer for Sydney United, 58. And there is Chabo, the substitution, finds Carlos de Oliveira, and tell me, and it was a brilliant play, but an even better slide tackle there from Lachlan Fields to sweep the ball out of play. Touched there by Vlastelica. Passed all the way back now to the man aforementioned. There is Vlastelica. He's got space to run. Famous number 4 in red. Van Dijk, Vlastelica. Same position, same number, different clubs. They both play very similarly though. And the ball is moving now. Peter Grozos, not a nice tackle there. Carlos de Oliveira. Another tackle, has to be careful there. He's done a few of those. We could hear the screams from here, so we hope that the tackle was not too bad. The Sutherland Sharks could not afford to lose another injury. As referee Reese Edwards keeps the cards in his pocket. And it looks like it's going to be Mohamed Ahmed, and it's good to see that Grozos is back up on his feet. Well, as we mentioned before, we don't like to see injuries, especially to talented footballers like Peter Grozos. Gerasimakis Petraros heads it straight to Tristan Prendergast, who has a National Youth League title with Sydney FC, winning it alongside the likes of Aaron Calver, an Everton supporter too. So take of that what you will. The club across the road are the Premier League champions, but here is Arimoto. Goes all the way back to Nizic, keeping himself very composed. Arimoto in today's game. A goal to his name too. Sharks have been a little bit stubborn in the back. Leroy Jennings showed a little bit of magic to stop the stubbornness and help Sydney United with the opening goal for them. He still remains 1-1 here as he tries to find Rule. Finds Rule. It's a beautiful header. And tell me with the shot. And Mohamed Ahmed comes in clutch. Blocks the ball. And it is a corner for Sydney United. Applause all around the stadium. Urged on by public announcer James White. And it is going to be whipped in now by Milicevic. Will he put some sauce into the box for this one? Good Milicevic. Shot in by Rule. And Nizic with the safe hands there. And now here is Gerasimakis Petraros. Central United, Arimoto. Out now to Lachlan Fields. Out wide to Lachlan McDonald. There is Moric who loses the ball. It goes to Patrick Antelmi. Here's Carlos de Oliveira. Through to Antelmi. The touch lets him down. Out wide now to the man that just came on, Chabo, who's got space, gives it in, his Rule, passes it into the box, couldn't find the Sharks' feet, and it finally found Mammoth Fields at the back. Here's Gerasimakis Petraros. Shouts for, and a player is on the floor, so the referee must stop the game. We hope that everything is okay with him. And we hope you're all enjoying the game so far. As the physio runs onto the pitch, the Sydney United are getting the reinforcements. And we hope that he's okay. Mr. Mohamed Ahmed is the one on the floor.
Yeah, we want to welcome some close fans from Sydney United
And the score is 1-1. Goals from Iko Ehore Arimoto and a goal from Leroy Jennings, Fiji national, applying his trade to Sydney United. We are here at the new and improved Seymour Shaw Stadium. Here, Sutherland Sharks need a point so that they can keep their season alive and the win, as they are near to the bottom of the pack. And we will be underway. It looks like Mohamed Ahmed is back up on his feet, which is a beautiful sign to see. There will be chunks of stoppage time added on, which is okay. That is what it's there for, which means more football to watch, which is good to see. And we will be underway very shortly. Mohamed Ahmed is off, so Sharks will have to go to 10 men again. Irasamakis Petralis giving the ball back to Sydney United. Sign of respect there as Glasic starts us off again. Tomilic out now to Hatch. Tomilic, Hatch, Flashtelika. Out now to Glasic. Sydney United keeping possession. Nice and compact in the middle of the park between their defenders and midfielders. Here is Carlos de Oliveira. Out wide now to Milicevic. Tomilic. Out wide to Lashtelika. Leroy Jennings and Hatch. Some beautiful working play there. Sharks happy with this as long as they cannot get a goal, as Sharks defence looks to be more stubborn. And here is Rule. Intercepted there by Jeris Gotadis. All that possession. And it's been intercepted. Here is Matthew Moric in a foot race with Rule. And Rule is the one that rules that one. But Moric got a vital toe onto that. And it's Arimoto who sends it out now to Mohamed Ahmed, who's back on the pitch after going down. Good to see him back up. Here is Jeris Gotadis. Sends it out. Mohamed Ahmed finding Mason Fernandez, playing it to Katsuta, 22-23. Krozos going all the way back now to Lachlan Fields, and it looks like we're going to have Richard Shuiki coming on. Here is Arimoto. We will talk more about the man that will be coming on in just a moment when he does come on, because there is a lot to say about Richard Shuiki. But now the Sharks have a promising attack that has been thwarted. Mammoth Fields are now telling me with the battle there. Same now with Arimoto. And Skotadis is covering the position. And there is finally a foul given. And it looks like it is going to be Mason Fernandez coming off. And Richard Shuiki, who signed halfway through last season from MacArthur Rams, former MacArthur FC and Blacktown Spartans player. 3 goals this season. Will be applying his trade now. Coming off for Mason Fernandez. Number 23 for number 17. As Mason Fernandez makes way. And now Sydney United are going to get us back underway after winning a free kick. And it was Vlaštelika who got us back underway. Hatch to De Oliveira. Got saved by his own touch there. Sydney United with a promising, but it's not promising anymore, but it could still be as it is intercepted. It's Carlos Oliveira with space to hit it. And it is beautifully saved onto the post there by Nizic. But the attack is not over yet. Matthew Moric clears it away. And here is Rule now who gives it to Milicevic. De Oliveira and Gerasimakis Petraros trying to form a counter-attack here for the Sharks. Here is Matthew Moric in a race against Tomilic. And Moric is still going, and it looks like we're going to see our first card of the day. A piece of cheese is shown there to Michael Glasic, and Seymour Shaw Stadium love that. And Jetty, like what I just said, the public announcer, second that. And now it is Jedis Kotadis who's going to step up for this one. This game has been nothing short of entertaining and exhilarating. So we hope that you are all enjoying this beautiful match from wherever you are watching it. We all appreciate you watching it. I am Christos Lavmastarks, your commentator. And all 584 people watching, we appreciate every single one of you. Fifth off field now. Here's Antelmi. It's a brilliant hold-up play getting away there from Lachlan Fields, who just slipped there. And here is Carlos de Oliveira. They're trying not to get a shot on. Cleared away by Arimoto as it fell through. Now here's Hatch. Almost lost the ball, but he's still continuing. Trying to hatch something for Sydney United. Here's Gerasimakis Petraros. Hatch. Back now to Tomilic. Here's Bailey Rule. And Sutherland Sharks are preparing a substitution once again. And the referee has given a corner. And Jordan Roberts will be the one to go on. We'll once again tell you more about the man coming on as soon as he does come on. As he's going to be whipped in now by Milicevic. Trying to find a goal that will send Sydney United 58 into the lead. And it's headed up now. And that almost fell into the back of the net. Patrick Antelmi guided it onto the head of... I will let you know in a second. Of Leroy Jennings. And it couldn't find it. And Jordan Roberts is coming on now. The vet who used to play for Sydney United 58 for Lachlan Fields, who had a great shift as Jordan Roberts makes way. Played in the Australia Cup final last as well, and is a football coach with All Things Football, run by former A-League and Sharks player Hayden Morton. And Lachlan Fields is the one that makes way for him, as Mammoth Fields, just like the Mammoth is extinct from the football game now, as he makes his way off. Shuiki with the pivotal header, but that was not enough. Thrown out now. Here is Hatch, trying to find De Oliveira, who finds Leroy Jennings. As those two once again playing passes to each other. Here is Carlos De Oliveira, played back now to Vlastelica. Here's Galasic. Vlastelica. There was a run by Rule, but instead it is stopped by Jordan Roberts, the man who just came on. They're trying to whip it into the box. Aremoto clears it, only comes as far as Rule. De Oliveira not with the best touch there. Mo Ahmed with this pivotal touch. There's Gerasimakis Petraros passing it to his Greek compatriot, Peter Grozos, who wins a foul for the Sutherland Sharks. And the clock is ticking down. We have 12 minutes plus stoppage time. There might be a bit of it because we've seen Mohamed Ahmed down and a few other players down for both sides. Everyone has been okay. We haven't seen any bad injuries, which is what we'd love to see. Nizic once again with his rugby league sort of kick. Headed up. Arimoto trying to find Shuiki, who gets a head in. Gerasimakis Petraros pressuring Glasic, who had to clear it away. But the ball was already out of play, and it is kudos to Gerasimakis Petraros for the pressure because they have won themselves a corner. This is James Kotadis taking the corner. The last time he took a corner, it fell to the feet of Arimoto, who had a beautiful bicycle kick straight into the back of the net. So we could see something similar here. Whipped in now. Arimoto was the target man. Almost got his head to it. There's Grozos. There's Katsuta. Goes back now to McDonald. Katsuta. He's Grozos. Back now to Katsuta. He goes to Lachlan McDonald, who's sliding into the centre back. There's Mo Ahmed. Great coverage there from the Sharks as Arimoto finds his way back to the full-back position. Grozos to Arimoto, who's had great progression from the 20s to first grade, now starting in first grade after rotating between both 20s and first grade. That's a brilliant touchdown there from Peter Grozos. And the ball is still in. That's a great advantage called by the referee. Richard Shuik is trying to get there, but Jordan Roberts is there to pick up the pieces. Whipped in again. Touched by Matthew Moric, who has to go back to the man that whipped it in, Jordan Roberts. Goes to McDonald. Finds the feet of Katsuta. It's a nice turn there. Goes back for a 1-2. There is McDonald. Lashtolika. Headed out now by Rule. Brought down by Carlos de Oliveira. Arimoto caught out there, but Mohamed Ahmed doing well to cover for him. And Arimoto making the most of that, but concedes a foul there. Carlos de Oliveira, the victim of that one. And it's going to be whipped in again by the set-piece merchant for Sydney United, Milicevic. Now here is Matthew Moric in the wall, who's learnt a lot from his football, from his dad, who is a football coach. Here is Milicevic now to whip the ball in. Will he put some sauce into the box? Whips it in now, and it falls past every single player for both sides. And the Sutherland Sharks look to counter-attack now. There is Jordan Roberts. Not the best touch there. And it is won by Tomilic. And Sydney United 58 are preparing a substitution. It is Luke Zuvela coming onto the pitch. 18-year-old. Rotates between 18s, 20s and first grade. Famous last name, Chris Zuvela, former Sydney FC player. Played alongside Milos Ninkovic. Also of Croatian background. And a corner is won for Sydney United 58. And it will be Patrick Untelmy who will be coming off. Not yet, because they do have a corner. Don't think Untelmy knows that he's being taken off yet. So it's the corner going to be whipped in with some pace. Lots of movement in the box. And it's a save from Nizic. Nizic, keeping his side into the game, was man of the match for Sutherland Sharks last week in their 2-0 loss to Marconi Stallions. Nizic, safe hands for that. Makes another pivotal save for the Sutherland Sharks, showing his experience, the ex-Burnley, Morecambe, MacArthur, Western Sydney Wanderers, Sydney United man. Sydney United 58 man. Here is Matthew Moric. Jeris Kotadis. Petraros. Yerasimo to Yerasimo, that is their names in Greek, passing to each other. Jerry and Yerasimakis. Out now to Lachlan McDonald. Jordan Roberts. In now. Complaints of a high foot from Sydney United 58, but as Lupe Fiasco says, the show goes on. And not a happy chap there, Vlashtelika. Just getting in the face there of Richard Shuiki. And we finally have the substitution. Number 37, Luke Zuvela, will be coming on for Patrick Untelmy. Youth for experience will be coming on. Sorry, experience for youth will be coming on. Luke Zuvela is the man, number 37. Martin Skirtle. And Patrick Antelmi did have a goal disallowed in the first half. He was just a tad offside. And we are back in action. We have 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Here is Rule. Sends it through now to the man that just got onto the pitch, Luke Luvella. And here is Carlos de Oliveira. We've hit it now, and the crossbar denies him. That would have been an unbelievable time to score for Sydney United 58. He cannot believe his luck there as the crossbar denies Sydney United 58 of a second goal. He had lots of space, took it, but the crossbar said no. And here is Richard Shuiki now trying to find a counter. Goes back to Jordan Roberts. And it looks like Lachlan McDonald has slid into the centre-back position. Not the greatest goal kick, not the greatest kick we've seen there from Nizic this game, as Carlos de Oliveira is going to form an attack here for Sydney United 58. Here's Leroy Jennings. Out now. Not the best touch there, and Skotadis picks up the pieces. And once again, another daft touch. Not Daft Punk, but daft touch. And here is Bailey Rule. Whips it in now. No one is there. It does find a Hatch, though, who takes a Hatch on goal and finds the back of the net. It is 2-1 to Sydney United. The ball fell through straight to Matthew Hatch's feet and has put his side ahead. He had a little bit of space, took it and buried it into the back of the net. Matthew Hatch showing his A-League experience, the former Central Coast Mariner and Perth Glory man, put Sydney United into the lead with 4 minutes of regular time to go. He just evolved from a Charmander to a Charizard and made it 2-1 there. Matthew Hatch with the all-pivotal goal to put Sydney United back into the match and to be leading this match and could potentially come away with the 3 points all the way back to Adenza Park. Definitely not what the Sutherland Sharks need, and they have not much time to get an equaliser. The magic of football, this is what it does to you. Puts you on the edge of your seats, and we all hope you are on the edge of your seats. Here is Jordan Roberts now. Jordan Roberts now is ready to take the free kick for the Sutherland Sharks. Ante Juric was happy with that goal. You could see him screaming and running as he's out of this technical area. Now it's Jerry Skotadis who's going to take this now. Whips it in. He was the man that gave Iko Ehore Arimoto his wonder goal assist. Now, lots of pace here, but it is stopped as Leroy Jennings was going to run through. Picked up the pieces though, Jordan Roberts, showing his experience there. Here is Mohamed Ahmed, sent out wide now to Katsuta. Sent in now to Grozos, who's found Jerry Skotadis. Swept away there by Glasic. Found Milicevic. Rule. Lachlan McDonald with a beautiful interception. Here is Gerasimakis Petraros. First season at the club. Formerly of St. George City. And Tristan Prendergast just trying to waste a little bit of time there. And he will hoof the ball up. Lachlan McDonald misses it, but Mohamed Ahmed there to pick up the pieces for Sutherland Sharks. There is Nizic hoofing it up, the former Sydney United 58 man. Richard Shuiki with a pivotal little deflection. It is Gerasimakis Petratos losing it to the other number 10, Carlos de Oliveira. Here is Rule. Sends it through now. Sent up now, Milicevic. To the man that did come on, Mario Chabot. Carlos de Oliveira. Sent out wide now to Leroy Jennings. Here is Jetty Skotadis. And the fourth official will tell us that there will be 4 minutes added on. 4 more minutes for Sutherland Sharks to find something out of this. And 4 more minutes for Sydney United 58 to hold the lead. There's not long to go. And Arimoto slips on that and wins a foul. Doing well there. And Nizic is to send the ball off. Sent up now. Here is Katsuta. Peter Grozos. They're going to need something. Sydney United just hoofing the ball. Nizic. Bit of communication there. Mo Ahmed. Tomilic. Shabo. Arimoto. Shuiki. Finally brought down. Here's Matthew Morich. Sent in to Mo Ahmed. Sent out wide to Jordan Roberts. Sharks with an opportunity into the box. Matthew Morich just trickles out. And Sydney United 58 are minutes away from getting the 3 points thanks to a pivotal goal from Matthew Hatch. As Prendergast is here to lift the ball up for Sydney United 58 in what could be the last remaining minutes as we strike 5 minutes to 6 here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. Hoofed upfield. Jordan Roberts. Not the best pass there. It is Nizic. Made himself look big. And Nizic steps up to deny what could have been a third goal for Sydney United. Jordan Roberts thanking who's now a teammate. They used to be former teammates, but they are now reunited here in Miranda. Sent out wide to Leroy Jennings. So that's brilliant defending there from Katsuta. And here is Grozos trying to find something. Finds the switch to Matthew Moric, but it looks like Rule was going to get to that. Matthew Moric just wants to get the game underway, and he does. Trying to find an option to throw to Matthew Moric. He's got Gerasemakis Petraros, Skotadis, and Arimoto as options. Finds Skotadis. Another throw for the Sutherland Sharks as they inch desperately closer trying to find something. Here is Arimoto. Lachlan Fields called to take the throw. And he does. It looks like he's going to go long as every player comes into the box. Whipped in now. Lachlan McDonald. Can the Sharks get something from this? Mohamed Ahmed is trying to get a foot, but it is a foul for Carlos de Oliveira, which might put this game to bed. Matthew Moric just getting the ball for Sydney United to 58 to stop them from any potential running down of the clock. And it's going to be Tristan Prendergast here to hoof the ball up in what could be the potential last kick of the game. And he hoofs the ball upfield. Here is Alimoto. Hoofs it up. Hatch trying to evolve once again, but this time it finds Nizic. And that seems to be full time here at Seymour Shore Stadium. Sydney United 58 come away with the 3 points as Sutherland Sharks won, Sydney United 58-2. Got a wonder goal from Aramoto, started up the goals, and then Leroy Jennings and Matthew Hatch finished it off for Sydney United 58. A crucial win for them, which will now help with their playoff hopes. And that will put Sydney United back into 6th, and the Sharks 3 points away from the drop. I would like to thank all of you all for attending on the screen, on the live screen. I'd like to thank you all for attending. We'll see you all at the next match. The Sutherland Sharks play Manly United next week at home, 4 p.m, whilst Sydney FC under-23s will travel to Adenza Park to play Sydney United 58 in a crucial match. I've been Christos Mastakis. Have a great rest of your weekend. Rug up, stay safe, and just remember that at the end of the day, football always wins. Goodbye for now.